Let's bring in Reggie Miller. Reg will be on the call tonight. Mavs and the Pelicans, along with Kevin Harlan and Kristen Ledlow. That'll be 7:30 Eastern on TNT. Reg, good morning. Hey, any time frame on Zion Williamson? What's the word in New Orleans?
From what we are hearing, we did their game a couple weeks ago in Phoenix, and David Griffin, the general manager president of the Pelicans, told us mid-December. That was the timetable. That's what they had circled on their calendar. I'm not quite sure he's actually on the court doing court work, so I don't know if this is viable information, but he came up to me and said that right before Christmas time, perhaps, the unveiling of Zion.
Can you be too cautious with him?
They're going to be cautious. He is that type of franchise-changing player, and they are going to, be very cautious. And, if you want to call it load management, I don't think they're going to overdo it, especially, the first couple of weeks as he comes back. Because really no one's really seen him other than him walking into the arenas. They haven't seen any court work. So, again, the weight issue I'm sure is going to come up.
Yeah.
And the mobility. How is he going to be able to move with all that weight on those knees?
The Bucks are now 18-3. They've won 12 in a row. Why? They don't seem to garner any headlines. Why is that?
It's a lot like, San Antonio during those championship years, right? They just play, the same way. They have a superstar, obviously, in Giannis Antetokounmpo, the MVP. But other than that, the casual fan probably can't name another Bucks player. The hardcore, they know the All-Star and Chris Middleton, but could you name another Bucks player? The casual fan probably could not. So they fly under the radar. They do play an exciting brand of basketball. They put up a lot of threes. They get up and down. They have a transcendent player, obviously, in Antetokounmpo. But a lot like the Spurs during their championship days, people considered them boring, right? Not exciting. But what they are doing, especially for a small market, is unbelievable. And again, Giannis, front runner for MVP. I think you and I talked about this at the beginning of the season, who was going to win MVP. I thought it was going to be back-to-back Giannis, and he's proven me right so far.
Yeah, I would say LeBron has I think we look at stories, and I've said this a couple of times on the program, probably too much, but we've seen Giannis, we've seen Harden. Luka is getting a whole lot of love, and we've seen kind of a reinvention of LeBron James.
Yeah.
And I think that helps him, although Anthony Davis may take some of those votes away from him. But if I was looking at how I think the media might look at this award and they're voting on it, they would look at LeBron, because now you can write and tell a different story than, the Greek Freak. Look at those great numbers. And it feels like they want to tell a story.
And the media as well will say, you know what, Giannis, he's 24, 25. He'll win plenty of championships. LeBron's on his, on his swan song. It's L.A. It's LeBron. You've got a Mount Rushmore type player in his 17th season. We all know what happened last year, him only playing 50-plus games. Yeah, let's go for LeBron James winning MVP, especially if he ends up leading the league in assists and averages, 25 points. For a guy to do that in his 17th season is pretty remarkable. But I will say this, you're right, Anthony Davis will take a lot of the votes away from him.
I was also wondering about this, that we look at the quarterbacking position and we sort of adjust according to your age. So we'll look at Tom Brady and go, as a 42-year-old, he's playing okay. Or Drew Brees as a 40-year-old. Will we do the same thing to LeBron James and grade him differently on his age and mileage? And I don't know if we'll do that, because it feels like the critics are going to be there and they can't wait for LeBron to actually, fall off the ledge, like people, Patriot haters are waiting for Brady to fall off the ledge, and this might be the year that happens. But will we grade LeBron a little bit differently because of his age and how long he's played and how many games on that body?
I think that's just the nature of the beast. and yes, we will grade, and probably it's unfair because what he's doing in his 17th season is remarkable. We wouldn't be saying this if he was in his 7th year, right? So I look at him different because personally, I can attest in my 18th year, it took everything for me to even to roll out of bed to get to practice. And for him to be averaging a double-double and to be playing at this high clip, we view LeBron differently, and we judge him differently. And a lot of times it comes from him as well, right? I mean, he says and does things that kind of, push the meter, but we look at LeBron differently. So, yeah, I think at times he's judged unfairly. But, God, man, I wish I could have been playing like how he was playing this late in his career and my career.
But also, don't you think he's making a statement here? Because everybody wants to christen, Kawhi Leonard, best player in the game. He's playing, he said, I don't have load management here. I think it's one of those, hey, I'm old school. I don't need load management. And he's letting everybody know, that I don't need to sit down back-to-back games.
I think it's a redemption year. Everyone was counting him out and saying, okay, as you just mentioned, like, the Tom Brady haters, at some point in time, Father Time is going to catch up to these, legendary players. LeBron he's bobbing and weaving. He's ducking. He keeps himself in pristine shape. Taco Tuesdays must be working out there in California. Things are going well for him, right? The Lakers are back. They're winning the best record, in the West. So, hey, more power to them.
Yeah, but load management would concern me here. And we say the same thing about James Harden and the Rockets every year. Like, at some point, do they have load management with James Harden? I don't know how you do this. Every single night, your team depends on you to get at least 35 points. And everybody knows you're going to be trying to get 35 or more. And just that, that takes a lot to do that every single night in the NBA.
Theodore, more so for James Harden. I worry. I love the numbers that he's putting up, 60 through 3. Look, I get it. But at some point in time, right, someone else is going to have to step up. And it's just a lot of wear and tear. At least LeBron has AD, right?
Yeah.
At least he has AD, and I think he's taken their approach, and you and I and the Nets have talked about this on this show. I think the best course for LeBron this season was to feed AD and run the offense through AD, which they've done. And LeBron has picked his points when to be aggressive, but he's been more of a facilitator, which is why he's leading the league in assists. So you ride the young gun in AD. Harden doesn't have that, right? And I just think over time, and I know he's part of that old school too, which I love. I love guys that can play hurt, can play back-to-back, 4 and 5. I get it. I love that. But at some point in time, it catches up to you, and usually when it does, it comes around April and May.
Reggie Miller joining us, the Hall of Famer. Mavs Pelicans tonight, 7:30 Eastern on TNT. Watching Luka, which I'm sort of fascinated how easy the game looks for somebody who's in his second year. I'm still concerned about Porzingis and his involvement in that offense there. It still feels like he's an oh by the way. Is he completely healthy?
Well, if he's on the court, he's completely healthy. I just don't think, coming back and being away from the game for almost 18 months, I think he's still feeling his way through. And when we did the Mavs-Knicks games a few weeks ago in New York, the way he was moving out on the court, it wasn't unicornish-like.
Okay.
Before he played so free-flowing. And I think a lot of times he's out there thinking, again, it's a new system and it's a new team in Dallas and Rick Carlisle. And I think they're learning to play with one another, Luka and Porzingis. And I think they'll figure it out in time. But I think once he gets his legs, I don't think he has his legs yet. And that's just a matter of being away from the court and playing at a high level. But I think once he gets his legs, because I think the skill set between Doncic and Porzingis, it's so unique because both players can open up the court because of their shooting, and both are great slashers. But if you're Porzingis, you're right, he's not 100% healthy, but he's finding his way in this new system in Dallas.
Carmelo Anthony got Player of the Week. Now, I didn't know that.
Excuse me, something was in my throat. Sorry. Yes, what you were saying.
Shouldn't they have comeback Player of the Week? Because, I mean, he was watching TV 3 weeks ago, and it's a nice story, but I'm looking at some of the numbers other people are putting up, and I don't know.
I mean, Harden averaged 37. Come on, man.
Luka averaged 39.
Doncic was averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice little story.
It's good. It's a fabulous story.
It's a nice
I love Melo, and I'm glad he's back. But come on, man. Come on.
Can Luka win the MVP?
This season?
Yeah.
He can, but he won't. Not if Giannis continues to play like this.
Okay.
No. I think he might be slightly ahead of Harden. Right now, if I was to rank, I would go Giannis, probably LeBron, Luka, and then James.
Does Luka talk trash?
He does.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
In Slovenia?
I really can't tell. You know what? He's more antagonistic towards the crowd, especially on the road. So it'll be curious to see tonight, because he was taunting a lot of those Knicks fans when we were watching that game. There is, well, I mean, that's commonplace in the Garden nowadays. Hey, you know what? Speaking of the Knicks, man, we all know they're bad, right?
Yeah.
It's time to start thinking about contraction.
Relegation?
What is going? That's bad, man. You can't have the Knicks this bad.
Well, the Knicks and Warriors have the same record, but
the Warriors, I get.
Yeah.
The Warriors, I get. Wasn't it supposed to be a new lease on life for the Knicks?
They had a great offseason.
Reggie Miller bashing on the Knicks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but didn't they have a really good offseason? Isn't that what the front office said?
They got who they wanted to get, right?
Apparently.
Okay.
And I saw a mock draft, and you know, obviously it's early, that the Knicks would have the number 1 pick, and they would take LaMelo Ball.
See, I don't know if that solves their problem.
I think it might add to the problem.
They would take LaMelo over James Wiseman or Anthony Edwards?
Well, that was just the mock draft that I saw. I don't know with the Knicks. Do you really know what they would do?
No, you don't. You don't know.
And I do think that he's got a lot of talent, but I do think that, you know, he's ball dominant and he's probably got bad habits because of where he's played. You know, but he can be better than his brother.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's got. I've watched too much basketball through the years. When he was a freshman in high school, I started watching him, and you know, he's got some size. I don't have a home life, by the way, but you know, he's got size. It feels like he's a little more polished all around. But
I think he's a better shooter, obviously, than his brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I want his brother to succeed. I do.
I do. I want the Ball brothers. Yes, I love them, but with them comes some baggage as well. It depends on who's coming with them.
Yeah, Daddy Dearest is going to be there, and that's usually not a good thing. But I will say, you know, if he's going to get 2 kids into the NBA, that's still pretty good.
That is fantastic. Look at the Holiday brothers, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's balling. That's a balling family. Credit to the parents and, you know, the upbringing. So I do give the parents a lot of credit in the Ball family. If you can get 2 kids in any professional sports, that's unbelievable.
He's going to be on the call tonight. Mavs Pelicans, tune in early, 7:30 Eastern on TNT. Reg, have fun tonight. And what's the over? No, you can't do this over-under.
I can do it.
No.
With over-under triple-double for
Luka?
Yeah. I would definitely say the over. I think he's going to have a big number. I think he's going to have a big night. Especially coming off of that emotional high, breaking the Lakers' 10-game winning streak.
But don't you think it's interesting, Reg, if I said you put up 39, 9, and 9, or you put up 20, 10, and 10, it feels like people will look at the triple-double as more impressive than they will.
Oh, I'm going with the 39, 9,
Oh, I am
9.
too. I am
You
too.
need that.
Yes. But, it's weird how we fall in love with that phrase, that term, the triple-double. Like, oh, he had a triple-double. That's why Russell Westbrook won the MVP, because it was really simple for people to understand. It's like, he had a triple-double.
For a whole season.
Yeah. Nobody's had that since Oscar Robertson.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Did you ever have a triple-double?
One in my 18-year career, and I'm going to cherish that one. Now guys are getting 5 a week.
I know. Well, wait, was it harder to get the rebounds or the assists?
Oh, definitely the assist. You think I wanted to give up that ball? You think I wanted to pass that ball to the Davis boy?
Yeah, I know. Rick Schmitz?
Definitely the assist.
All right. Have fun tonight, Reg, and we'll talk to you next week.
Love you, Theodore.
All right. That's Reggie Aloysius Miller, Jr. III.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.